Radio Paranormal.
Welcome to Radio Paranormal.
Hello, everyone. Brandon will be here momentarily, so you guys are stuck with me for a little bit. Welcome to Radio Paranormal. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Guest is going to be really super cool tonight. So stay tuned. It'll be very, very, very interesting. Lots of things this guy can talk about. But before we get started, as Brandon always says, we got to pay some bills. So we want to thank New Orleans Paranormal Society as one of our sponsors. Also one of the sponsors for New Orleans Paracon coming up this July 31st through August 2nd at the Astor Crown Plaza in New Orleans, actually in the French Quarter. We do have some packages left. We are getting real close to selling out on ghost hunts. So get your tickets at neworleansparacon.com. I'll type that in the comments. Also, I want to remind everyone, Chris and I come from, my husband, who's a part of New Orleans Paranormal Society, we come from a hospitality background, hotels, restaurants. So if you need anything or you want a customized package or you've got questions or anything, you can text or call or email us. We're happy to talk to you. Basically, our mindset is if we can make it happen for you, we're sure going to do it. The number to call or text is 504-321-3366. I'll put that in the comments when Brandon gets on. And the email is info@neworleansparacon.com. So those are the ways you can get a hold of us. The website is neworleansparacon.com. I had someone reach out this week asking about general.
I'm not late, you are.
What?
I'm not late, you are.
Okay.
I'm not.
That's
I'm early. I'm early for next week.
You are. That is true.
Hello, everyone.
I'm
out of breath because I'm fat and I have stairs. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Where are we at? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
I was just talking about the Paracon. I had someone reach out to me this week wanting to just come in and walk around and see the exhibits. And they were confused. They didn't know why they couldn't do that. But you can.
I mean, you can. You can pay hold on. Look, everybody, here's a graphic.
The weekend and daily passes, those are also known as general admission. We just didn't call it that because we didn't, but it means the same thing. So weekend day passes are $25 per person. Weekend is $40 for Saturday and Sunday, and it includes admission to the floor and all of our workshops. If you see workshop, that means included for no matter what you buy. And then the packages, Living Dead, start at $448 per couple and go up from there.
I highly recommend the Living Dead package. One, because it's going to be a cool graveyard. Is it a graveyard or cemetery? Is there a church attached?
Cemetery, I would say.
Okay, so it'd be a cemetery. It'd be a Masonic cemetery.
Yeah.
And
city.
I get paid. The more y'all that shove on this bus, the more money I put in my pocket.
Pretty much. Very much. So you're going to go to Masonic Cemetery and you're going to go to City Park, where we have a very large, very old live oak tree there that we talk about. And there was some ceremonies done around that tree.
Well, we have a live oak too. We got here in South Carolina called the Angel Oak. 800 years old, maybe. I don't know. We went down there when my wife was first diagnosed with her medical condition. Oh, it's beautiful. If y'all never seen a live oak, if you're not from the Southeast area, I think that's it, right? Just here in the Southeast, we have live oaks.
I think so, yeah. They're beautiful. They come with fuzzy caterpillars that aren't fuzzy.
I mean, it's like a fried sort of Happy Meal. If you're talking to me, I want fuzzy, stinging caterpillars because that's
I'll take that for.
So I do want to push the cemetery. It is a Masonic cemetery. I am a master mason. I will be bringing some Masonic trigger items that I've never done. I've never done a Masonic That's a lie. Don't let me lie to you. This will be the second time I've ever done a Masonic cemetery. So, but it'll be the first time with some of the items that I will be bringing. So, I mean, it's kind of a twofold. If you're interested in paranormal, great. If you like secret societies, great. If you like them both, awesome. Because I'll cover what I can.
Yeah.
And I think we'll have a good time. So check out the Living Dead package. Or, hey, isn't there a Patty Negri experience Sam Baltrusis thing? Or have we sold out?
We have one left. Only one spot.
Y'all get it?
With Patty Negri, Sam Baltrusis, Father Sebastian. I mean, come on. That's great. And it's one of our higher end things. That's $500 per person. There is only one left. That includes all of Patty's classes. You get to go to dinner, includes your dinner, not your alcohol. That's up to you.
Yep.
At the Vampire Apothecary, you're going to do a gallery reading, intuitive seance, or intuitive ghost hunt on Saturday. And then Sunday, you can you're going to be going to Potion Speakeasy, which is a private speakeasy. And guess what? On that package, if you don't have anything to do Friday, so let's say you can do the Living Dead package and go on a cemetery ghost hunt with you Friday, and then add on Patty Negri and have something to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Let me just put it like this with the Patty Negri thing. Like, and probably it'll cover general admission too in one sentence. Look, I know the Patty Negri thing's a little expensive, but you know what? I paid for it, and I bought a ticket for my wife. Like, even us that are speakers, we still got to pay.
Yep.
So, you know, if you're complaining about a little day pass, $20, $15, then maybe it's not for you. Maybe you should go lower on in the Cajun country and find that one. But
well, you know what we have that a lot of Paracons don't have is we have afterpay, so you can split up your payments for whatever package you want. So we have done our best to make it as affordable as possible. And by the way, before I forget, hi Kim, happy Father's Day, Brandon.
Hey Kimmy. Oh, thank you.
And whenever Mom comes on, I'm going to happy Father's Day to my only dad left, and I got to call him after the show, so I can't stick around much. And
then we need to also tell our guests. I don't know if he has children or not, but while he's backstage, happy Father's Day, Cameron. Thank you again for coming on. I don't know if it. Anyway, Father's Day, boy, that's a weird holiday, which we can get into later. Men, I know. Just don't. I know. I get it. I hate Father's Day. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's the worst holiday that's ever been invented.
Why?
Because, and I'm speaking truth. So, gentlemen, men out there. Mother's Day is the number 3 holiday in America. Father's Day is number 33. I didn't know there were 33 holidays in the U.S. So, happy Father's Day, guys, and just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to die before your wife anyway, and you'll be happy. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Jesus Christ. This is what happens when I just mess up and I'm behind the 8 ball. Can we, wait, let's say hello to who we got?
Hello, Susan.
Hello. Let's say hello to the people that are in, and then you know what? We're going to talk cryptid.
Yeah, right before we talk about the other thing.
Yeah, but I just want to bring it up while I'm scrolling through this and looking. Y'all, I'm not known as a cryptid dude. I'm more paranormal, spiritual side. And people ask me all the time, why don't I believe in cryptid? Well, you're putting words in my mouth. It's quite the opposite. I 100% believe. Therefore, I don't need to go out there looking. But I do enjoy these experts that take their time. You know, my elders, I grew up on the reservation, so my elders told me to leave them alone.
Yeah.
But when you get experts, it's just the cryptid world and cryptozoology. I mean, I've been looking at cryptozoology since I first heard the word as a kid. And I would look a little bit. And, you know, because here in South Carolina, we got the lizard man. We've got the hairy man. We've got all kinds of different creatures just here in South Carolina. So it's fascinating. But it always fascinates me because I don't know anything. I get to learn every single time. So I'm excited about it.
Well, Louisiana, we've got Rougarou. We also have Bigfoot here too. Rougarou, werewolf and Bigfoot. I'm surprised there's not some. There's probably some alligator man somewhere too.
Okay, I see a troll. We got to get the troll out of the way. Okay, why should you name your son Wayne or Logan?
What should I name my son, Wayne or Logan?
Okay,
it depends. Okay. Batman or Wolverine?
This is why you're the host. I'm the co-host. Okay, I like that, Wolverine.
Which one do you like better, Batman or Wolverine? That's my answer.
Well, hello there, JC.
Hey, JC.
How's the dog? How is your dog? Let's talk about animals, and then we'll talk about animals. First, let's talk about Gumbo. How's Gumbo doing?
If you would see him, he walks a little weird on his back legs, but you wouldn't really know he's sick. We talked about it last week. We have a stage 4 lymphoma diagnosis, which we've been putting out a GoFundMe. Treatments, not cheap. They want to start it Tuesday. I don't know if we can. He's at one of the best veterinary clinics in the country, LSU, Small Animal Clinic. LSU and I think Texas A&M have 2 of the top vet schools in the country. But I know I said stage 4. They're still giving him 75% chance to go into remission, or we wouldn't even be talking chemo treatment. Although lymphoma is very common in Rottweilers and other breeds, not at his age. He's not even 7. So that's the strangest part of this. And after his knee repair and then knee replacement, a second one this year, and then all the diagnostics, that's why we are doing the fundraiser, because
I'm working on that fundraiser in the background. Keep talking.
Thank you. I've got a copy of it too. And there's a way to GoFundMe. There's also, I can put the photo up. Hang on. To donate direct to the clinic. One of our speakers, a good friend of yours too, Letriona Terry Brown, is offered to do some readings. I have him up here, and donate the proceeds to his fund. So you can, if you're listening, he's on GoFundMe. I don't even know how to say how to get there, but if you want to donate directly to the clinic, because I know a lot of the stuff people think it's scams, just look up LSU Small Animal Hospital, and then you look under paying your bill, then pay your bill online.
We'll have all of these instructions listed on our Facebook, Radio Paranormal, just to make it easier. But right now you see on your screen, there's a little QR code there that if you're watching and you have your phone or tablet, you can scan and pay. But look, Gumbo's a sweet dog. I hadn't met Gumbo, but I've met Gumbo.
He's not like any other dog I've ever had in my life. He's a good boy. He's a, like I said, I'm gonna stop sharing. We would not be doing this route if we weren't told by the doctors that he has, this was about the percentage we needed to hear for us to even think about it. Anything less, it would have been palatable care.
Now, that being said, it's not my dog, so, don't listen to me. However, look, times are tough. I know gas prices are starting to come down, but Lord, if you can't do anything, don't feel bad about not doing anything.
You can share.
You can pray. You can share.
Share the post. It's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. We've had a lot of people share. There have been donations by people I don't know. There have been donations by neighbors and friends and people I know but I've never met. It's just been, I don't know what's gone to the clinic. So, but anyway, we've got people doing energy healing for him and prayers and anything and everything he can. He's laying on the floor right now and I'm playing 285 hertz frequency meditation music because I read somewhere it kills cancer cells. So this is like every route we can go is where we're going.
Well, those of us that have had an animal in our lives, we know, we get it. So if you can,
Yeah.
great. If you can just share it maybe for Jen and Chris, that'd be great. Or say a little quick prayer. I mean, whatever you can do.
We'll take any help we can get.
We know how our animals are in our lives. We all know. We don't have to. We get it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you an animal that I would not pay to send.
What?
That'd be a cryptid that's chasing me.
Probably
and, the only way I can learn about how fast cryptids are is to talk to the man, the myth, the legend. Our guest this evening, Mr. Cameron Bragg Oscar.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good.
Hello.
I'm still behind the 8 ball, so I'm gonna shut up for a minute and push buttons and let you guys talk.
Well,
Sorry about the long intro thing there. We just had we wanted to talk again about my dog. So, but how are you, Cameron?
Tired and excited at the same time. I'm just packing up. Tomorrow I head to Scotland.
Oh,
Speaking of cryptids, I am going there to try and photograph Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh.
So I'm going to be wading into the water until I get so high. Then I'll squeal a little bit, but I'll be taking my pictures like crazy, and I'm going to be there day and night. And fingers crossed. I've been lucky with other cryptids. I've photographed a dog man, and I've also photographed a Dover demon. And oh yeah, how about this one? We call them Sobbies up here, but it's otherwise known as Sasquatch or Bigfoot. So I've been very fortunate. So I'm hoping that this will be, continuing my string of luck going over to Scotland now.
Fingers crossed, definitely.
So Cameron, you're up in Canada. What part?
I am in a little town called Peterborough. It's an hour north of Toronto.
Okay.
And believe it or not, we're kind of in Sabe country. There's been a lot of sightings up in between. Well, we're in the Kawartha Lakes region, and there have been a lot of Sasquatch Sabe sightings over the years. Even recently, in recent years, up around a place called Gannon's Narrows, where 2 lakes are joined. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised when I heard that one, because that was a place where I used to jump off bridges when I was young, and people have seen Sasquatch families in the trees there as well. So it's kind of cool. And I'm excited and looking forward to getting over to Scotland and see what I can get next.
So you need to come to Louisiana. We'll take you out to the swampland and see if you can get our Rougarou or any Sasquatch we've got here, because we've got sightings of both. And I know, like Brandon said, there's some cryptids up by him. We'll throw you up to the Carolinas and see what you get in the Appalachians.
You know what? I would love to. That's my own. I've been to New Orleans before, Louisiana, and my one regret about going is that I didn't spend enough time there. I spent a week. Don't get me wrong. I learned how to drink in New Orleans, but
you're welcome.
Drink properly in the middle of the street. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, I didn't spend enough time. Like, I went there to look for vampires. I went there to look for the hairy ape. I went there to look for, to learn voodoo. I wanted to learn voodoo. So I hung out with voodoo practitioners and learned, just like you would talk to a priest, I wanted to learn about the religion more. And I love your cemeteries down there. They're beautiful.
Yeah. Well, heck, if I'd known you wanted to find some vampires, I could introduce you to a few that are practicing.
Next time, please. Yeah.
Yeah. You might have met one if you went to Voodoo Authentica, because there's a voodoo priest there who's also a practicing vampire, also consumes blood. His name's Papa Czar.
I love that place. Yeah.
He is a lovely, lovely man. Big giant teddy bear. So yeah, we should we should get you down here. Hang out for sure.
Okay.
So what else do you have? I was looking at your website. You have a book coming out.
Yeah, the book is out now. It's called Ghost Revelations, and it's the adventures of a technical medium. That's me. And so it's just me connecting with other dimensions by using equipment like digital point and shoot cameras or digital recorders. So ghost hunting for me, that's what's really helped me collect so many photographs over the years and evidence of the paranormal, or using these wonderful tools that you can get from any store pretty much. And so my evolution as a researcher has gone along with the development of all of these cool toys that, originally start out in a lab at NASA, but eventually they get scaled down and the public gets to use them. So originally they're computers they would use to analyze their photographs up on the moon. Mm-hmm. Well, those giant computers are now microprocessors within any point and shoot camera or your digital cell phone that you use. And cell phones take beautiful pictures now. They're better than any DSLR camera. Mm-hmm. So I think we've only scratched the surface. We're going to be actually more likely photographing other dimensions in no time if they haven't already begun doing that. So
right. So
that's kind of what I call myself. But I started out not caring about the paranormal 40 years ago. I'm kind of a laid back fellow, and I moved into an apartment that it took me 2 years of freaky stuff going on before I accepted that there was a ghost there. I was moving in, starting a family with my wife. It was her apartment. And, first time I was there, she told me, the radio sometimes comes on by itself and it'll go off. Don't worry. And I thought, well, that's no problem. Whatever. We can get it fixed. Maybe. I wasn't thinking ghost, but the ghost like music. And so here I am. I move into this apartment and instantaneously, I had that feeling, that sense of being stared at or watched all the time, that feeling of paranoia. In the shower, when I go to bed, and quite often I would feel the presence. It was a very strong presence, and I would either feel it right above me looking at me, and I would get up and I would feel it pull away. It might hide in the closet. Sometimes I felt its energy sort of go down the hallway, and it was like wanting me to follow it. But again, these were sensations I was experiencing, and I didn't know what to make of them. Even about 3 nights of the week on average, I would be awoken through the night between 1 and 5 a.m. to these sounds of dishes rattling in the kitchen sink. Or it might be the distinct sound of a glass or a cup being placed on a marble coffee table we had. And I would get up in my boxers and run down the hallway looking to see what the hell's going on here. Yeah. And thankfully I never did find anybody there. And I was always just left with wondering what's going on. Why do I feel paranoid, basically? Right. And more physical things began to happen. I remember the wife was bent over the baby's crib one day, and I was in the living room, and the wife comes bolting into the room, and she looks at me. And I'm like, what? She goes, did you just smack me on the rear end? And it's like, no, I didn't. Not this time. And so anyways, she just said, well, I was bent over the crib, fussing with the baby, and somebody gave me a good smack on the backside. She goes, I know you don't run that fast. So what? And I go, I don't know. I went back to my book and my coffee, and we didn't talk about it. We didn't know. We just thought maybe we were fooling around or joking. So anyways, then another thing happened. One day I changed my daughter's diaper, and I'm carrying her, and I'm about to put her back in her little walker she had. And I had to step over a vacuum hose and her baby bottle. And there was a thought in my head as I placed her in the walker. And the thought was, I'll give her the bottle. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to give her the bottle. So as I reached down for the bottle that I just stepped over, it was no longer there. It was up on the table in front of her. So I do believe it was the ghost saying, I'll get the bottle for her.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. So I'm not thinking ghosts still. I'm kind of a little too relaxed. And it wasn't until my young niece was visiting with us and we had been out shopping with the wife, and the wife was still out at the store. And my niece and I came back to the apartment to get her bags to go home. So we go to the apartment door, and we're about to go in. And as the door opens, I heard a lady say, "Cam," a female. And I knew nobody was home, so I just didn't think anything of it. But my young niece goes, "Uncle Cam, a lady just called you." And I'm like, "You heard that too?" And all of a sudden, it was my eureka moment. I have a ghost. And so from there, then I'm excited. I'm like, oh my God, all this stuff makes sense now. There's a ghost here. Yeah. And I shared my story with other people, and they shared their stories of what happened to them while they were in the apartment. But again, most people that had an occurrence in the apartment with a spirit or hearing somebody call my name, they didn't know how to tell us. They didn't want us to think they were crazy experiencing these things, because we weren't talking about anything paranormal. There was one person that stayed in the apartment that was on their own, and they described the phone rang and they answered it. And it was like a man yelling through a fax line. And the person said, "Listen, I can't hear you. You'll have to call back." And as she put the phone down, it rang even louder, and she described it as being furious, like angry, an angry ring. Yeah. And as she picked it up, the man was now screaming at her through the phone. And she says, "Listen, I'm going to have Belle trace the call. Don't phone back." She hangs up, and as she turns, she sees motes of light coming together, like somebody beaming up or beaming away out of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And she yells at it. She goes, "Whatever the hell you are, you're not wanted. Go away." And it just went boop, 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 and disappeared. So that's the stories coming together. And now I'm all excited about this ghost stuff. I want to know more. So I approached the superintendents and I asked them, who lived in the apartment before us. And it was to learn that there was an elderly couple. The gentleman, they remembered, he went down to a medical center to spend his last days. That was probably him on the phone calling the apartment. And the woman, they remembered she died in the kitchen. They can't remember if it was a stroke or a heart attack, but they remember in the kitchen she was found. And that was where a lot of the noises were, dishes and things. And so for me at the time, that was case solved. Those were my spirits there. And I didn't, you'd think this was a great opportunity to start researching ghosts in this apartment, but the wife and I got a divorce. So I moved on to my next apartment, no spirits. My dad had just died, nobody dropping in to say hi. But as I was moving out of the apartment, I think I did see my ghost. You have the elevator in use and you're loading your vehicle with boxes and you're just in your own world. And all of a sudden I had that sense of being stared at. And I looked up and there was a little old lady, little too much rouge on her cheeks. And she was wearing a gray tweed jacket with little flowerettes on it, like Mary Tyler Moore would wear back in the 70s. Yeah. And she was just quietly watching me. But when I acknowledged her, she seemed startled and she just nodded at me and she walked away. But as she passed, it was really quiet. And I thought, that's kind of weird. I've never seen this woman before in the apartment. It was a small building. So I got up and I went to see where she was going, and she was just gone as soon as she went around the corner. So I'm pretty sure that was my ghost lady, either saying goodbye or maybe she was going to move on herself. So that was it for me. And I was excited about ghosts now. All of a sudden, I took the pill that made me realize ghosts are there. And there's all of these unseen beings perhaps around us. I wanted to understand it. And so I went off in search of more spirits, more ghosts. I started skulking around cemeteries, going to New Orleans on vacation. And,
wait, Cameron. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. I made it back right in time for Mom. Let me put Mom up here.
Here's Mom. Mom, tell Pops I'm going to call him after the show, and happy Father's Day. Sorry.
And then ask your husband if he actually cares about Father's Day.
Mom pops in every week, and she's like, of our most loyal fans. So we always say hi,
Nice.
Mom, every time she pops in.
So I did have a question, but as I was listening, you might have answered it, but maybe I missed it. So at what point did you decide to go cryptid instead of paranormal? Or have we not hit it yet?
We haven't.
You know what? To be honest, I would say first and foremost, I'm a paranormal researcher, but I've had cryptid encounters and experiences.
Well said.
And it's on the radar. It's just, they're out there. And, if you do ghost research or paranormal research, there's a whole spectrum of beings out there. And
Right.
cryptids are definitely on the spectrum. So you have to pay attention to them. So
Now, Angel was telling me something when we were talking, Angel Morgan, who's the person that gave me your information, that historically there are species of animals that historically we thought were cryptids, but then we found physical evidence that they were real, like certain kinds of I thought he said giraffe something.
Well, let's put a baseline for this. What does cryptid mean, and what does cryptozoology mean?
Well, it's the study of legendary or mythological creatures.
Okay.
And unfortunately, there in most cases, 99.9% of the time, there's no real physical evidence of flesh and bones, right?
Right.
We're not unearthing more than dinosaurs. Maybe another 30,000 years, people are going to say dinosaurs are cryptid. They're not, a real being,
Right.
But we know they are to be real. So it's not to say that, eons ago, these beings could have been real. Like, I think the Earth has been around a lot longer than we care to think about.
Right.
And those energies are there. And, so that's how I look at it. And I don't per se consider myself a cryptozoologist, but definitely I've had cryptid encounters.
Got it. My favorite one is the unicorn that they talk about in the Bible, right? We'll just bring it up, right? So now they're starting to believe that actually existed. It was the African name is African unicornus.
Okay.
And it's a rhinoceros with one horn.
Yeah.
So, like you said, who's to say that, 200 years ago, dinosaurs were fake and nobody believed in them. And now here we have proof. So,
Right.
I mean, there's evidentiary support for cryptozoology. It just takes a long time. It appears. Same with, I guess, paranormal. What do you think of paranormal? I mean, nobody gets it. It takes forever. It's a lifelong study. I would think that it's just like that.
It is. For me, like I've spent 40 years doing the research now since that first experience. So I've had my experiential moments for sure. I'm very fortunate that, our cameras, they now, when you think about it, cameras photograph into light spectrums that are there that we don't see with our eyes.
Right.
But just like our cameras here today, they pick up these remote control infrared and ultraviolet lights.
Right.
So the technology is there and this information is there. It may come from another dimension, another frequency, but there's so many beings out there. And that's where I let my camera do the work. I'll go to places where there have been perhaps reports of cryptids or ghosts, and that's where I'll focus my energies. And I'm thankful that, cameras have evolved to a point where you can almost guaranteed get something in your photos. And like I said, I've been fortunate. I've photographed a dogman, Sabe, the Dover demon, In my case, the Dover demon I got looks just like the one that Bill Bartlett drew the illustration of back in 1977 down in Dover, Massachusetts. And I was researching a graveyard. I was going there looking for a ghost girl that was known to haunt the cemetery. And I brought a couple psychics with me on this little excursion. And I was photographing the tree line when I got this Dover demon standing next to a tree with its little spindly arms and legs, but big bright orange eyes. And, then the rest of the night, I'm looking over my shoulder the whole time because I could see it in my camera, and it just disappeared. It didn't show up anymore in my photographs that night, but it was there, and it's real nonetheless. And it's fascinating. And, and again, when I'm down there over in Scotland in another week, I'll be over at Loch Ness. Do I expect to be standing on the side of the loch and seeing Nessie raise its head up out of the water? No, I don't. But I do expect my camera to get something. And
right.
And a lot of these beings, even ghosts, even some ghosts, what like the ghost in my apartment. Remember I said how I could hear dishes in the sink rattling?
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be any dishes in my sink rattling, but a lot of ghosts and spirits, they're interacting in another dimension per se, like another energy imprint, which some people would maybe say is a liminal space. So they're actually living just another liminal space from history that's familiar to them. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could be years backwards from that moment, but it's very real to them. And that's where a lot of times you don't cross over with them or you don't see them. They're just that's the veil, that liminal space, really.
Right. So you were talking about capturing you almost get something every time on your cameras. And I've seen some people on their Publicons lately messing with shutter speed, which my eyebrow raises because of dust particles. So what are techniques that you're willing to share that you use to
Good question.
to get it?
Well, for an example, at my live events, I do seminars and I try to share my photographs with people. And some other cryptids I've photographed are nature spirits. I've caught them in the daylight, and I've stopped to photograph just a nature scene. And then when I'm looking through my photos later, it's like, whoa, what's this? And it's
right.
It's this larger than life being in the trees. Beautiful. They're beautiful. Some people would call them a dryad. So they are there. But what I do to increase my odds of getting guaranteeing I will get spirits in photos every time, is I've often offered spirit photography at my seminars. So I've photographed thousands of people now over the years. And I would set up a black curtain that you just get from, Kmart or wherever the store is.
Right.
And I would hang my black curtain up, have a person stand there. I'd be about 6 feet away from them with my point and shoot camera. You would always use the flash. That's very important because these energies they're vibrating at such a fast rate. You really need the flash to capture them in that moment. And I liken it to if you try to photograph the blade of a fan blade when it's in motion.
Right.
That's why you want the flash, and it'll freeze those blades where you can see them, but they'll be blurry around the edges and they'll be see-through. They'll be translucent. Right. So that's why your ghosts and your Bigfoots, if you photograph them, they're always going to be a little blurry, and you're probably going to see through them for the most part.
Now, could that be because on the plane of existence that they are on, particles move? Let's just assume there's particles. I don't know. So particles would move faster than they would in this 3-dimensional world, therefore making them blurry and translucent? Or is it something else?
Well, I think of it as basically we're photographing things in the consciousness background. So really, everything has consciousness. The
Right.
chair you're sitting in, your headphones, your shirt, everything has consciousness. And again, it comes back to energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just simply changes, right?
Right.
So, so basically, it's a different form of energy that is everywhere. It's around us. We are part of it. We have consciousness, and it's kind of like known as the universal consciousness. And now, when you get to maybe like I think of like a soul, like where you want to have an individual part of that.
Right.
When we talk about dust particles showing up in your cameras that look like orbs, right? So
Yeah.
you have to really discern, is it a bug? Is it an insect? Is it moisture, dust, pollen? In that, is it a reflection of those things that you're getting?
Right.
And you can generally tell a reflection as opposed to a spherical orb that is absorbing the light and fluorescing it back. And so when I would do this spirit photography originally, when I started out rather amateurish, I was hoping just to get those orbs in the shots and find one where I could find a face or multiple faces.
Right.
And they are so. But what I've discovered, yes, there's some really good paranormal orbs or spirit orbs, and the nucleus is pretty much the soul, the soul, the seed. And the images you get in the outer part of the orb, the images that look like a person, that's what they're projecting outwards, and they can be projecting outwards different images. So that's one thing. But as I was looking one day, many years ago now, I had an orb next to one of my sitters' heads, just right about here. And I was looking at it to see if I could see a spirit and a face. What I look for: eyes, nose, mouth, ears. Goatees are great. If the spirit is wearing a tie, even better. I love when they have glasses on. So I'm looking at that orb next to their head when all of a sudden I became aware that even smaller than the orbs you get, there were spirit faces. And I'm not talking about pareidolia or
yeah, because I was going to bring that up here in a minute, doing the pareidolia. Yeah,
everybody loves that word, but
right.
You know what? When there's spirits there, there's spirits there.
100%.
Yeah. So I found that there would be groupings, maybe 3 or 4 spirits or more at the temple regions. A lot of people have a lot of children and pets or animals up around the crown of their head. And we also get around us, because I started to examine all around the person's head energy field, etheric energy. You could say it's that white aura that's around us all. That's where you're picking up these beings. And sometimes we get resting faces. So it's just like a sleeping face on the side of your head. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than a spirit. That tells me the person has had past lives. And that's one of their resting spirit faces from a past life.
Oh, interesting.
And now here's the other thing that's really mind-blowing. So if I'm at a haunted building and I'm doing my spirit photography with the curtain, people will get spirits that, when I crop them and when I enlarge them, they can recognize it as Uncle Charlie or a great grandfather. Genealogists have great information they can go to, and they know immediately, and they're all excited because they've got this person in their aura. But the other thing I learned from being at the haunted locations, or any building really, I would get spirits that would photobomb. So if I did 50 spirit photos of different people, I would get maybe, let's say if the building was on farmland, I might get an old farmer with his straw hat and his pipe out of his mouth, and he would be photobombing like 20 people in that group. He'd show up in everybody's pictures.
Any bunny ears?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, bunnies. You could get anything that's of relevance to whoever, but it's and I try to share it with people because it's as easy as putting a black curtain behind you, take a selfie of yourself if you like, and focus on this region around your your head. The other thing that's really fascinating is they seem to ground themselves if you have metal rimmed glasses on. You'll get a lot of spirit activity around where the metal is.
That
they
makes
seem
a
to
lot of
ground
sense.
themselves to that. And in your eyes, that reveals to me when I blow up your photos, I'll get images of beings that you're thinking of. So it's quite fascinating. And I don't know, it's something I try to turn other people on because it reveals so much and you learn so much.
Well, one thing people don't realize, I mean, you know, as humans, we think, okay, this is Brandon, right? This is no, I'm merely a salt battery. Just let's be honest, I'm nothing but water and electrolytes carrying electricity.
Yeah.
What makes the person a person, science can't measure. So let's take these two together. If I'm a salt battery and science can't measure it, that leads me to believe I have a magnetic field around me and my head. So why wouldn't the energy, which is right there that I am putting off, not be strong enough to have the spirits shown in a photograph?
Right.
It makes perfect sense to me.
I mean,
Especially with the glasses, like, okay, so now you have a conductor of electricity.
and you have your nervous system.
Yep.
Makes sense.
I mean, that's your core of of your electromagnetic field.
Your heart and your brain, really, aren't they? You know, and
yeah.
you can use a electrical tester and you can see what the number is, even. Like it's not rocket science. And thankfully, like, you know, we have these cameras that will photograph it now. And I stumbled upon it. Many of the things that I've discovered over the years have been flukes. And I share that in a chapter, you know, like, I wish I could say I was brilliant and I went into the study to learn this, and this. But what happened was I learned about cryptids through photographing them. And every single one of them was a fluke. I did not expect, except for Sabe. You want me to tell you that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was watching, this is back 2012, December 12th. It was a week before Christmas, roughly. And I was watching Ancient Aliens on TV, and they were doing a show on Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Now they had the Patterson footage, and
Right.
but there aren't a lot of other compelling photographs, and they had a lot of imagery that they were showing, and I found the imagery resonated with me. It almost was like emotional, where I'm like, you know, I know I love Bigfoot. Like there's a kinship there, you know?
Right.
And ever since I was a kid, you always wondered, is Bigfoot real? So anyways, the show talked about Bigfoot being potentially a dimensional being. And I thought, well, that's where I'm leaning. I think they're more dimensional beings. And so I thought, well, you know what? If they are dimensional, why can't I concentrate on them and draw them to me and try to take their picture, if nothing else? So I was excited, but I didn't want to try it in my own little bungalow I was living in. So
Smart.
I called a friend and I said, let's go on a Bigfoot hunt. We went out in the middle of the night to this conservation area, 20 minutes away from me. And I had all this Bigfoot imagery in my head, and I was concentrating on Bigfoot. I was calling out to Sabe, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, because I really didn't know what name resonated with it.
Right.
So I'm putting that energy out there, and I had two cameras in my hands, one in each hand. And as I'm walking this loop trail, I'm just firing off to either side into the trees, taking pictures with the flash on. And I would be looking at my camera screens, and I didn't really see anything jump out. You know, I wasn't getting excited. But when I got back around to the main part of the loop where there was a crossroads to where the loop began, I remember I took my last photos of the night, and then we went to my car, went home, and I said, I'll let you know if I find anything. And because sometimes you have to lighten your photographs and look into the shadows a bit. So I was blown away. And those last photographs I took at the crossroads, I got an image of a Sabe, and it's very reminiscent of how some apparitions you only see from maybe the chest up,
Right.
you know, in the head. So that's the image I got, and I'm gladly share it with you guys if you want to see it. And it was a Sabe with red eyes, pursed lips, beard, hair. Was brilliant. And in the background of the Sabe, there was some other imagery coming through, like gorilla type energy, like primate energy. And that was fascinating. And that blew my mind. And I have gone out there a few other times to try and see if I can put lightning in the bottle again there. But I wasn't successful again. But there is that feeling of being watched out there. It's a cool thing. And I haven't given up on it. Maybe I just have to be in a better place mentally. And again, as I'm going out to Scotland next week, I've got those images of Nessie that we've seen, those old black and white images coming out of the water. And I'm concentrating on that, and I'm trying to make a connection before I get there. And I'm telling you, as I'm in that little car going down those very tight roads to get to Urquhart Castle and Loch Ness, that's all I'm going to be thinking about is Nessie. Hoping, crossing my fingers too.
Yeah.
Well, we got like 9 minutes left. First of all, I'd love to have you back on after you return from Scotland. Because look, Nessie was my first cryptid ever. Probably like most Americans, I don't know, but I love Nessie. I've got a Scottish heritage. I mean, all of it rings so true to me. Like, I'm from the Appalachian Mountains, so we're full of Scots-Irish here. So I'm so curious because we have little creatures like that from Scotland over here too, which is a podcast for another week. But
I wonder if he'd catch the fairies at the mill.
I was going to bring that up. I have a haunted location. I don't have a haunted location. I'm the proud caretaker of a haunted location, and we have the Fae on this piece of property. It's 55 acres. We've got all kind of stuff, and I bet you would get all kind of spirit photography and spectral photography down here. We'll have to get you to South Carolina one day, good sir.
Well, here's my little experiment I'm doing. This is something, because I have such great success with the black curtain. I'm taking my black curtain to Scotland with me, and every castle I go to, I'm going to be throwing it up over a door frame, and I'm going to be having the wife stand in front of it, and I'm going to be taking her picture to see if I get any photo bombers coming into her energy field. I liken it to being a human antenna, really.
Yeah.
Human antenna for spirit.
That's
So I'm going to do that until they kick me out of Scotland.
I hear it takes a lot. Even the British tried, and they couldn't quite do it.
No, they're tough breed there.
100%. So where can people find you? Where can they... Are you going to, well, first of all, let's do this since we have a U.S. audience mainly. Do you have any U.S. tour dates coming up this year?
I don't this year. This year I'm focused on my own home province. Okay. And I'm going to continue my Canada-wide tour. So I do seminars and I'm doing the book tour thing as well. So I do book tours by day. And then at night I do live events. And they're going very well. They're selling out. And... I can't wait to get down to the States. I'm actually looking at buying an RV so I can bring the dogs and the cats.
There you go.
So we've got a sick dog ourselves.
Here's a fun fact. I have RV parking at my haunted location.
Can I book a spot?
You don't have to. Look, man, I got plenty of spots. The only thing is we don't have hookups, but I got a spot for you.
Okay.
We got bathhouses. Hold on.
I've got a long extension cord.
Look, I've got power out there. I've got everything you need, my friend. If you have an RV, we can set you up for several days of photography out here. Easy.
It'll be fun. You know what? I always at my seminars, I try to tell people, with the paranormal, most people that come out are women. 90% of my audience are women. 90% of my hauntings I go to, it's women and children, and usually the guys just standing there. I'm not saying they're crazy, but I just haven't seen anything. So at the talks, I try to just share with people, do spirit photography for yourself. Get a curtain, have a glass of wine with the girls on a Saturday night. Have some fun, because laughter is the spirit frequency.
That's so funny, because when we do our public hunts, a technique that both my husband and I use is fun and laughter and music and games and dad jokes.
Like that. That's all I can use. So here's a fun fact, Cameron, and you'll never know this, but Jennifer and I have never met before.
Nope.
So we've never investigated together anything, but I've seen their investigations, and also, like, I'm a comedian. It is what it is. So that's what I lead with my investigations, and I'll tell you what, dad jokes work every single time.
Yep.
It's
100%.
Yeah.
Well, that was something I learned firsthand doing that spirit photography. Like, if I had a little old lady show up wanting to connect with her deceased granddaughter and she was grieving sadly, I would get zero energy around her. It creates a void, a dead zone. And as soon as I cracked the dad jokes, well, she just lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yep.
Well, humor. Okay. Maybe this is personal opinion. Disclaimer. I think humor is the most pure of all of our emotions.
Yeah.
Laughter and joy, that is the most pure, which has the most frequency, which has the most power, blah, blah, blah. We can bring it all the way into spirit photography. I mean, you get the right frequency, things work.
And Tesla
discovered the frequency of how to destroy a building in New York while he was in it. He had a pocket-sized frequency device, and he tuned it just right to where all the steel started shaking in the entire building, and he had to turn it off. Now this is documented.
Did you say Tesla?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I love Tesla.
Yeah. So, I mean, frequency, he discovered that it can destroy a building. Well, if it can destroy, it can also create, maybe?
Yeah. We use another technique we've been using is music.
Yes.
Like Friday night, the spirits in a place we go to all the time, they didn't feel like really talking. And so we've over time created playlists for a couple of our locations based on different requests from spirits that are in there. And I'm like, all right, spirits, you don't feel like talking. Let's have a jam session and just pound on some of our equipment, like you're dancing, or give us some signs on what you want. And then it started working. And then we started getting, okay, if you guys want the song change, do this. If you want to take, oh my God, I played Frank Zappa. I mean, I played the weird stuff, but
that's confusing.
We changed baby snakes. Anyway, so that was something we found, that they're tired of talking and people asking them the same questions. Let's just have a jam session.
Yeah.
Right.
And it again, you're going back to frequency. We found too, here's the craziest thing. I'll throw this out there. We get more reaction from playing songs by artists who are dead.
I believe it. Yeah. I here's something I'll share with you about music. Like, I'm known for breaking into prisons. They're usually abandoned, thankfully.
I would hope so, but
So I'd bring in my transistor radio, and you want to get to know the night sound. So sometimes you feel a connection to a building. So I would play music for the spirits, and I'd sit there and I'd take pictures. But I'll tell you, like, I would play music, like, just on a radio station. I forget what the stations were back then. But every time I did it, there would be one song at least that would come on that was about a ghost or a spirit. And I'm like, then you're sitting there looking around a little bit more, like, what's the message here? And take a few more pictures. And,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, it was like some old person station.
Where can people find your books? Obviously Amazon, but here on this station, we do not support Amazon because Amazon does not support their artists.
Well,
They do not pay their people properly. So
yeah.
what we like to do is go directly to the source. So where can people go directly to you and get your book?
Well, yeah, definitely don't go to Amazon. But if you want to come up to Canada, I'm selling them at book expos like crazy. And also at my book expos, I put together a slideshow of all of my favorite ghosts that I've photographed, and I just let it run on the table so people can stop and just look at all the ghosts prancing before them on my table. So that's kind of fun. And you know what? It's really cool to have people ask you for your autograph. I've never had that before. And they're like, "Can you sign this?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Right.
Like that's a good feeling. It makes me feel good. So come out to one of my talks, come to a book event, but stay away from Amazon. Don't buy Ghost Revelation.
Amazon.com. Don't go to Amazon.com.
No.
But I put your website in the comments, CameronBag.com. The book again is called Ghost Revelations: The Adventures of a Technical Medium.
Yeah.
And there'll be updates on your website as well, as like all of your events.
Yeah, I keep it up pretty fresh, all my events. And follow me on Facebook, please. As I go to Scotland, tomorrow I'm going to be in Glasgow, and I'm going to be photographing, videotaping. I've just got myself a new drone, and so I'm going to town on this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Our hotel we're in Edinburgh is right on Greyfriars. Our window looks right into the cemetery. So I'm hoping to get some traffic. And if you look up the Drovers Inn, the oldest haunted pub in the UK, we're staying there in the most haunted room doing an overnight investigation there. But I'm going to be posting it all on Facebook coming up in the next 24 hours. So
well, I'm definitely going to watch. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. Oh, Scotland.
You're just going to look for Nessie, I know.
Yeah, you had me at hello is basically where we're at on this one. Yeah, I'm jealous. One day I'll get over that way, but I'm going to live vicariously through you, Cameron.
I'm going to try. Fingers crossed.
Me too.
And, Jen, what I forgot the other day to mention, especially about
Well, thank you, Cameron.